All right, everybody. JC here. Happy Thursday. I am going to try out Tesla FSD Supervised version 12.5.4.2 for the second day. I actually got it yesterday, but I got it towards the evening and fumbled around a bit with my iPhone trying to film. So yeah, I just figured I'd go ahead and use the GoPro this go around along with my iPhone to do some commentary into the phone. So apologies, y'all have to look at my ugly mug for a little while. But we are going to go to the Costco, see how it does going to Costco. And then maybe once we get to Costco, do a little bit of actual smart summon. And then come on back home, just see how it looks. And oh, by the way, can't see if you can tell, but I'm wearing my brand new SpaceX Mechazilla t-shirt that I just got in the mail today. The one that's got actually Godzilla in the back. You can't see it on the back of the t-shirt, but yeah, really, really cool. So I ordered two of those, one for me and one for my wife. So, all right, well, let's get going, see how this thing does. All right, pulling out here. Got a car turning in front of us. Handles that well. Got a pedestrian to the right, but they're up on the sidewalk, so we're all good to go. And apologies if I know my iPhone's probably taken away from the visual a bit, taken away about 2 inches of the front windshield, but I think it actually takes away less space with me using the iPhone on the Joa MagSafe right above my screen than it does. I've got an additional GoPro that I've used before as well that I mount on the windshield. I think that actually takes up more room. Even though the GoPro is a bit smaller, the apparatus to get it on the front windshield takes up a little bit more space. So we'll just play with it, see which one folks prefer. All right, we've got a moving van right there. We move around that. I don't know if that was a moving van or a landscaping truck. That's kids getting picked up by the parents coming home from school. Got a roundabout here. Got a car coming through the roundabout, but they go that direction. We're good to go. We come out of the roundabout. Very smooth. One thing I can already tell you with 12.5.4.2 is it's very smooth. It's not that the previous version 12.5.4.1 wasn't smooth, but this is definitely just a little bit smoother. All right, we come to our complete and total NHTSA 0 mile per hour stop. Make a nice left turn. As a lot of the other folks in the Tesla community who do FSD videos will say, it's got a buttery smooth turn. All right, take a right turn here. Slowing down a little bit. Probably slowed down a mile or two per hour more than we really needed. All right, we're coming up to a four-way stop. We come to our complete and total stop, make our left. Smooth but slow. That was interesting. That really slowed down there quite a bit. Not exactly sure why it was being a little extra cautious, but again, no harm, no foul got us through there, but just a bit slower than I would have anticipated. Okay, now we are on a smaller, narrow country road. Not very good lane markings here, but Tesla FSD has always handled these roads really well. I should say version 12 has always handled these roads very well. So yeah, that was one thing that on previous versions, version 11, that it could have a tough time with narrow, unmarked country roads, and version 12 really just eradicated those issues. Kind of like the roundabouts. I think most people would agree that roundabouts could be hit or miss on version 11 or earlier, and version 12, for all intents and purposes, has just cured roundabouts. I can't think of the last time I had any issues where I had to intervene in a roundabout. Not a lot of roundabouts around here in Houston. I know that there's other areas of the country that have quite a few more roundabouts where it's actually a normal part of their city infrastructure, and here it's really not. We use feeder roads and four-way stops a lot more here. I'll tell you, I think roundabouts are a lot safer than four-way stops. I think that's probably proven with traffic fatality data, but nonetheless, it's, you know, what we have here. So I deal with four-way stops quite a bit here in the Houston area. All right, we are at a railroad intersection, but it's a bit of a complex railroad intersection because we've got to come up to a two-way stop with the east-west traffic having no stop sign. They have the right-of-way. We need to make a left from here after we make a stop at the stop sign, obviously, make a left to get into the turning lane that then goes over the railroad intersection, and then make another left after the railroad intersection. So you really have to be on your P's and Q's. I will tell you though, version 12 has just done an outstanding job with this intersection. So now we're at the stop sign, but there's really not enough room yet to move into the left turning lane. We don't have any oncoming traffic. We got a young pedestrian to the right. He's good to go. All right, we make our left turn. Excuse me there. Go over the railroad tracks, very good. We're gonna come up to the stop sign. The traffic going north-south here on 494 has no traffic light, so they have the right-of-way, obviously. So we make our complete and total stop. We have oncoming traffic that way, and we also have oncoming traffic coming from the opposite direction. Just have to... And we've got a big cement truck on the opposite side. Well, let's see, I think they're going to make a turn. And we've got more oncoming traffic. Yeah, this is a tough intersection to get out of, but we'll get there. All right, we make a move. That was interesting. That was interesting. So that car was holding up to wait for that car to take a right, and they were having a standoff, if you will. And because neither side would move, we did. So that was pretty good. That could be perceived as both sides are halted. There's an opportunity to go, so go. Or it was like a double courtesy. Like each side was waiting. And so I'm not exactly sure how the system interpreted that, but it did the right thing. It took its opportunity and it went. All right, we got some road construction to the right. Handle that well. And we will go through this traffic light once we get up to it. I can't tell whether we've got a green still or not. Yes, we do. So we continue to matriculate our way through. And there we go. Still has some road construction to the right. So it's a little tight here with no shoulder. And we got a road crew as well still out there working. But we handle all that perfectly. Excellent. And as far now that we're in an area where we can pick up a little steam, let me look. The speed limit here is 50 miles an hour. We're going 44. But quite frankly, we're also behind a cement truck that's going about 44, 45. So it's kind of tough for me to tell. And you all know with Tesla FSD, it is very safe when it comes to leaving a gap between yourself and the car or the vehicle in front of you. Now this is interesting. It stayed in this lane. This is a turn only lane. Well, that's weird. It's a turn only. It's saying that this is a turn only lane, but the lane to go forward is directly. So this is where some of the previous road construction, I think that they messed up the, yeah, so that's interesting. We went the right way. We needed to go straight, but the traffic light for that specific lane was a turn left only. But as you can see, you go forward to this lane. I think they've got those traffic lights off a little bit. I think that's not a turn only. I think that's turn left or go straight. Yeah, that's one of the byproducts of having so much road construction going on around North Park and 494 is they either mess up some of the actual placement of the traffic lights, or they forget to repaint some of the directional arrows. But nonetheless, we went exactly where we were supposed to go. Technically, it looked like the way that lane was painted was similar to that lane right there, which is truly a left turn only lane. But like most other left turn only lanes, there's no lane in front of it to go straight. So I really think that lane needs to be repainted for left turn or to go straight, so that it's in symbiosis with the actual road, the lane in front of it. All right, we're going to take a right turn up here onto Kingwood Drive. And then my guess will be is it'll start moving over to the left. Yep, because we need to go under the bridge and then get onto the north-south feeder of 59 East X Freeway. We'll be going southbound in order to go to Costco. Yeah, it's really smooth. And as you've seen, it's made some confident decisions at some pretty complex intersections. I guess at this point, the only real nuanced snafus is there was that one left turn where it went just a few miles per hour slower than was necessary. And there were no cars behind us, no cars in front of us. There was a car to our left that was turning right, but they weren't doing anything out of the norm. So I'm not sure why we were so cautious to slow down a few miles per hour, but again, no big whoop. And then the lane that we got in to go straight, which was technically had old paint markings that showed it being a left turn only lane. But again, based on how the actual road is constructed, I think that is supposed to be a left turn and go straight lane. So yeah, that one, I'm not sure whether to say that's a snafu for FSD or not. I mean, it went the right way and it was in the correct lane in order to go straight in the lane that it needed to go. So I'm probably gonna put that a little more on road construction than I am on Tesla FSD. So But again, so far, no interventions, critical or non-critical, but just a couple of kind of interesting nuanced snafus, I guess. We'll just go ahead and label those. Now let's see how we do. Now I think we ought to probably be able to get a better bearing here of how it's doing with speed. And I do have it on automatic set speed offset. So we're going straight, we're gonna stay on the feeder here. And it's showing the speed limit being 55 on the feeder. I'm not sure that's correct. I think it's 50. Let me see. We're going 54 and a 55, which is fine. No, it was right. I was wrong. So it is 55 miles an hour here on the feeder. We are going 54 miles per hour. So me personally, I'd probably be going 58 to 60. Just be honest with you. But obviously I'm not gonna say anything about a vehicle going 53, 54 miles per hour in a 55. And we don't have any cars around us. That's one other thing I've noticed about automated set speed offset, is that it truly interacts with other cars around it. Like, it takes in that data, absorbs it. So there we go. Now we have a car that's probably going about the same speed I would go, about 58 to 60. And of course, what do we start doing? We're speeding up. Now we're going 56. Yep. So I've noticed that when you're by yourself, it will tend to default to go in the speed limit or a few miles per hour below it. But once it's got other vehicles around it, then it will absorb that data, take in that data, absorb it, and react to that, and generally pick up the speed. Now we're in a 50 mile an hour, and it picked that up, so it correctly shows the speed limit is 50, and we're going 55. And most people go about 55 through here in the 50 mile per hour zone. Now we're going 56. Put on our right blinker because we need to get in the right turning lane here in order to get over to the Costco. Yeah, the drive has just been buttery smooth. Very, very smooth. Oh, wants me to attention. Yeah, maybe I don't know if it's my hat, my sunglasses, or the fact that I was kind of looking around a bit. But, oh well, no big whoop. It's got to adapt to how normal people drive, right? Probably won't need my sunglasses on the way back, so that may help. All right, we're about to turn right. And we can turn right on red in Texas, and it does. There we go. Gets out there there we go. Nice, very smooth. All right, we're going to get in the right turning lane here as well to get onto the last public road right before you get into the Costco parking lot. We'll see how it does in the Costco parking lot. Interested to see that with 12.5.6.2, how it does. All right, we're going to turn left here into the Costco parking lot. Right. Got some customers coming out. Obviously going to defer to them, let them work their way through. There we go. Move on up. Okay, we got our right blinker on now. We're going to be very careful with the customers in front of us. We got customers to our right going through the crosswalk. Got to be careful with them as well. We got an oncoming vehicle, so we need to get over to the right, give them some room. We've got an employee with carts. Need to be careful there. All right, now we're passing by. Oh, all right, that car was not. Go ahead. Sir, you're the reason we stopped. Very good job, Tesla FSD. Very good job. All right, I want to see how it does with, is it gonna try? Man, it's acting like it wants to park us. Well, go ahead, give it a shot. Ah, gave up on that one. Let's see if it tries again. All right, we're gonna take a left here. No oncoming traffic. Take another left here. Now we got plenty of parking spots right here, so if you're gonna do it, and here we go. How are you gonna do? You're gonna, yep. So it tried to park us, but as you can see, it's not a great job. But I'm telling you, this is my second day with 12.5.4.2. Every single parking lot I've been in, it is now trying to park you in a parking spot. Now, it is doing a pretty poor job. It's still going. Look at that. I think we're done, Bubba. But it's obviously got some. Now this is where like reverse would help. Like it would reverse out and then you do just one reverse and go right in and be perfect. But I tell you what, I like it. It's literally, you can tell that feature complete functionality is starting to get in there, because prior to 12.5.4.2, I would say, I mean, I didn't do any statistical analysis. I don't have stats on this, but my recollection is telling me it would try to park me about 20 to 40% of the time, somewhere in there, about a third of the time. I mean, it's only 2 days, and it's been about 5 parking lots, but yeah, I mean, it's done it every single time. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to go ahead and get us parked better. Actually get us truly parked and not hovering over 2 lanes. And then I'm going to do, some actual smart summon sessions and just see how it does today. Not really that packed here. I'd say this is about a 75% packed parking lot. But again, it's during the week, and I just enjoy doing it. It's a way to see how and this will be my first actual smart summon session on 12.5.4.2. See if any improvements have been made there. And quite frankly, it's a conversation starter a lot of times. So we'll just see. Maybe we'll get some reactions from Costco customers. Maybe get some conversations going. That's one of the things I love about doing this. That's one of the things that I try to do as part of this community is I like to be forward facing. I love talking to people. That's what I did for 30 years in my professional life before I retired. And so might as well keep doing it. Just doing it on my own as a proud Tesla owner, part of this Tesla community. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, get it parked, and we'll do some actual smart summon sessions. And then after that, we'll head on back home. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. All right, everybody. We just got done with doing some actual smart summon sessions here at the Costco parking lot. Excuse me. And I think I had some pretty good reactions, couple of good conversations. So let's head on home. Right. Getting out of the Costco parking lot here. Make sure we don't hit any pedestrians, any customers. Wants to take, was going to take a left there and it decided not to. Is it going to take a left there? Yep. Okay. Not sure why it chose this. Oh, I see why, because this is the lane to actually get out of here. How are you, ma'am? She did not look too thrilled. But I gotta go that slow, man. There's a gentleman right in front of me. That's the funny thing, is like, people come to a Costco or a Sam's Club and they get mad that you're not running over people. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, we had a little bit of a standoff there. She was nice and let me go. So for all of the things I just said, then you get somebody like that, very nice lady, who we got there at the exact same time. Obviously the Tesla FSD was deferring to her and she wanted to be nice, very nice. All right. It is about 5:32 in the evening here in the Kingwood, Humble, Porter, New Caney area of Texas. It's starting to get dark already. So, able to take the sunglasses off. So I shouldn't have, yeah, when on the way here, I actually got a little bit of a nag to turn the steering wheel. I don't get those a lot though, even with wearing sunglasses. Those have, you know, unless it's like really, really sunny, like really sunny, like beaming right at you at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. Well, now at 4 in the afternoon. It's pretty good about that. Really, at this point, the only time that I will get nagged is if I'm doing this too much. The problem is sometimes if you want me to supervise, I need to do that. I need to look at who's coming from the left and the right, but yeah, it gets really angry if you do that for more than a couple of seconds. All right, making a left turn here. Not exactly the smoothest. Oh, well, the reason why is because it wants to get over into the left turning lane. All right, well, we're going to need to skedaddle here if you're going to do that. And thank you very much. Yeah, that was not the smoothest in the world. If I do an autopsy on why that wasn't the smoothest left turn, my guess would be is because it didn't get into the correct staging lane in the first place. So it got into a left turning lane. That was fine, but we needed to then get over into the leftmost lane so that we could get over this bridge. So it should have been in the leftmost left turning lane and it wouldn't have had that issue. Fortunately, we had another driver who was very nice and let us skedaddle in front of him. But we should not put other drivers in that situation. So again, no interventions, critical or otherwise, but just from a nuance standpoint, it should have chosen the leftmost left turning lane and not just one of the left turning lanes. Again, if all you want me to talk about is interventions, critical interventions, I'm not going to be able to do videos because we barely have any of those now. So I really focus on the nuance parts of the drive. Like What is it going? The things that will eventually make a human being comfortable to not supervise when it does get too unsupervised. What are those things that will allow human beings to have the trust factor? And so it's got to get better at stuff like that. Again, like I said, from a supervised standpoint, no issues, no interventions. And I'm here, like, if that all didn't work out, if we weren't able to get over to the left, a couple of things. I know what would have happened because I've been in that situation with FSD before, is it would give up and just go straight and do add about a mile to our trip. Have to go do a right, then a left, and all that sort of stuff. Or it would just sat there like a bump on a log and waited another 30 seconds until traffic started moving up and then force its way in. But none of those are great solutions. The best solution is pick the right lane in the first place. So lane selection. All right, let's see where we're going here. Getting over into the left lane. Are we going to actually get up on East Tex, or are we going to just stay here on the feeder? That's all. It's always one great thing about Tesla navigation, if you just completely rely upon it like I do, is sometimes you get hit with a little surprise. You don't know where it's going to take you. Right. Looks like it's going to take us up on East Tex for a little bit. That's fine. We could have stayed on the feeder and gone through a couple of traffic lights on the feeder, but maybe it did some did some differential equations on the traffic on East Tex and just decided it's still quicker to jump up here on East Tex Freeway for a half a mile. Who knows? Because we don't even really need to, I don't know why. See, now this is a poor decision. We need to get off on the North Park exit, which, see, it got over here just to get back over here. So that was, you can tell that is not end to end on the highway yet, because there was no reason to get over a lane and then jump right back over, because like I said, I didn't even know if we were going to get up on East Tex or not. Basically what this allowed us to do by getting up on East Tex is we avoided one traffic light, so it probably saved us a little time, so that's good. So it made a great decision there that I would not have known. I may not have had all the information that it does about East Tex versus the light at Kingwood Drive. But then to get up here with a half mile to our exit and decide it wants to get over to the left, that made no sense. Again, no harm, no foul, no interventions, but it's a nuance thing. Talking about the things that are going to allow humans to have trust in the software. And if you repetitively do a handful of things like that, it's just not going to, it's going to belabor that. So those are the things that I focus on. As I focus on those subtle nuances that, well, I was about to use my mother-in-law as an example, but she's probably not the best. That's a hard, you get her comfortable with, you've made it. But what's a great example? Maybe my wife, like what's going to get her comfortable? Well, no, she's not a great example either. She likes to be in control of everything. Let me throw them out of the equation here. Just a typical dude who likes technology, but really doesn't know much about Tesla or FSD, Like, what's going to get them comfortable to get in the back seat and let a Tesla take them somewhere without a driver? And it's my humble opinion, IMHO, that you're going to need to cure the majority of those things. Maybe not all of them, because I'll be the first to admit, of those 3 or 4 things that I talked about on this drive thus far, if you're in the back seat on your phone, or you may not even notice it, you may not even know, but you know, you still want to have those like pretty well ironed out before then. Definitely the navigational stuff. Like, you don't want to be putting the car into the wrong lane. Granted, the software is so good that it can actually course correct itself and get over the bad lane selection without you having to intervene. But again, you know, I use the 747 example. Well, maybe I ought to take 747s out of this. Well, an airplane, you know, how comfortable are you going to be in aisle 15, seat 15B of a jet airplane that's having to go to battle with its navigation 2 or 3 times during the flight? Not very. You want there to be 0 battles on 0 days. So we got to cure some of that. Now, I'll also be the first to admit that the stakes are a little lower in a car, especially if you're in the city and you're going 25 to 35 miles an hour in some of these dense city centers. All right, I'll give it a little bit more leeway there. Like, you know, the lane selection stuff, it can get around. We can live with some of that that you couldn't live with in an airplane. I'll freely admit that. Like, you can have 0 navigation issues in an airplane, regardless of how fast it's going. In fact, well, it probably goes the opposite direction. This may be one of those that Chuck Cook or Joe Tegmeyer would be better to answer. But my guess is you're safer when you're going really fast, really high. You can make better decisions there. And probably the least safe time in an airplane is when you're like only 1,000 feet. Man, we got a little bit of congestion here. Yeah, it was creeping up there like it wanted to make a move, but we've got oncoming traffic here that has the right of way. One thing I noticed, awesome, they're putting in traffic lights here. That is great. They have so many damn accidents at this intersection. Like, somebody needs to go. Y'all have the right of way here. I don't know what they're waiting on. Like, they need to get going. And by the way, that honk you heard, there is nobody behind me. So that honk was not for me. These folks are like, I think they're confused by the traffic lights. That, like, what are they doing? There is no traffic light yet. I think they are all utterly confused. They need to get those traffic lights turned on. There are none yet. Look at how it's backed up here. Jeez Louise. Yeah, they've made that intersection fairly confusing now. Like, when you put the remnant, like, there's nothing in there. Like, all they have is the poles with no lights in yet. I get it. Like, you can't get it all done in a day, but you probably need to be pretty quick about that stuff. Like, at least get them flashing. Like, I know you're not going to get everything all worked out, but at least get some, like, flashing. Like, some, you know, what I've seen in some other cities is they'll go ahead and, even though they can't get the permanent lights in, they'll still put, like, some signs or like some some temporary flashing lights there. There was nothing. There was nothing. So literally you saw that. Nobody was like that, and there was nobody behind me. So thank God I wasn't piling everybody up, but again, that's temporary. My guess is they'll have the permanent lights in there within a day or two. So no harm, no foul. We made it through, no interventions. But again, just you had a combination of external factors there that just didn't make that the smoothest intersection in the world. But the software overcame all that. Got us across. No need for intervention. Got us across safely. But it definitely wanted to take the pulse of everybody at that intersection. Some people were treating it like a four-way, and most folks were just going right through it. So you had some cars were like treating it like a four-way to say, come on through. But then the other lane, they just kept going. So like, what do you do in that situation? I don't want, I wasn't going to take over and try to go through that because I don't want to get T-boned. I'd rather sit there like a bump on a log and let them figure it out and be safe than to go ahead and take the opportunity and have a chance of being T-boned. That's stupid. All right, we're in the roundabout. Yeah, handling this perfectly. So yeah, as the more I think about it, we handled that exactly the way I would want it to be handled. I don't want you to be, assuming that they know what they're supposed to be doing at an intersection where they've got light fixtures up but no lights yet. No. Sit there. Let them figure it out. And then that's what it did. Once it saw that both sides were stopped and neither side was moving, then it moved on through. So as I've kind of thought about that more, it handled that exactly the way I would want it to be handled. Again, temporary. That'll be irrelevant here in a day or two. But, you're gonna, we got some kids to the right there. We handled them well. Good job. Go ahead and exit out of that. And then we'll end the trip over by the mailboxes. Some folks already got Christmas lights up. It's getting dark here. It is almost 6 o'clock in the evening, and it is already this dark. Can you believe that? All right. Get up here. All right. Well, that was a great FSD drive. I mean, no interventions, critical or non-critical. There were a small handful, I think it was 3 or 4 little nuance comfort things that we encountered that I spoke about while we were doing the drive. We did 3 actual smart summon sessions at the Costco. I don't know yet. I mean, the car got to me with no dings. So that is the first sign of success, but I have not looked at the video yet to see whether there were any reactions or anything like that. So had a couple of small, really quick conversations in the Costco parking lot with the guy that picks up the carts, but I already know that guy. So it was more of just like, hey, what's up, man? So yeah, that's the funny thing. I've gotten to know some of the guys that pick up the carts and the security guards at Costco, Sam's Club, and HEB's around my area. So I always tell people, I know you want to ask questions about what it's like to work at H-E-B, Costco, or Sam's Club, let me know. And if you want to know how the macro economy is doing in the United States, let me know. I'll tell you, because I can tell you by the level of traffic and the amount of cars in each of those parking lots at any specific point in time. So, yeah. But everything worked out great. I'll get this video footage all downloaded, and then uploaded. And yeah, I will talk to y'all again soon, probably tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great evening. Bye, everybody. Hope y'all have a great night.